Basic combat training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Klein completed his advanced individual training at the Academy of Health Sciences in Fort Sam Houston, Texas, where he became a behavioral science specialist and was assigned to the Alpha Company 306 Military Intelligence Battalion in Fort Huachuca, Arizona. Mr. Klein utilized his education and training for the Alcohol and Drug Office, where he worked with interrogators, linguists, and signal surgeons, conducting psychological assessments, consultation, individual and group counseling of soldiers suffering from PTSD, substance use disorders, and he attained the rank of specialist. Mr. Klein was awarded the Army Service Ribbon, the National Defense Service Medal, the Army Good Conduct Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, and the Expert Badge with the M16 rifle. Prior to enlisting, Mr. Klein earned his Bachelor's of Arts degree in psychology from the University of Central Florida in 1987 and immediately began working in the field, specializing in the assessment and treatment of chronic and acute psychiatric disorders. As a veteran, he is a member of the renowned Mobile Acute Crisis Team in Tucson, Arizona, and developed the Psychiatric Crisis Team in Southeast Arizona, working hand-in-hand with local sheriff's departments and police departments on the team, assisting them in hostage negotiations and murder-suicide aftermath debriefing. He later moved to Los Angeles, California, where he served the addiction community in a residential treatment center. Mr. Klein lived in the Middle East for 18 months, where he trained citizens to respond to terrorist attack aftermath. He served as a clinical director in Pasadena's Villas Smoky Mountain Lodge in Cedarville, Tennessee. He holds a Master's of Counseling degree from the University of Phoenix, which he earned in 1996. Mr. Klein is a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida and is board certified in both counseling and clinical mental health counseling by the National Board of Certified Counselors. He is also a published author and wrote the book, What Do I Do Until My Medicine Works? Managing Your Mental Illness. He resides in Seminole County, where he continues to work with patients and veterans with PTSD. His goal for the coming year is to put in place another mobile acute crisis team that will respond to law enforcement on the scene for disposition and involuntary behavior acts, thereby assisting the local law enforcement officers in Seminole County to decrease their time in emergency rooms, putting them back on the streets where they are much needed, protecting and serving the community. If you could join me in thanking Mr. Barry Klein.